In this video, we're going to have a go at rendering glass. Now, the key to rendering glass really is to keep it simple. You can use either a very pale blue or blue-grey marker, or sometimes you can use just a grey marker. Just be conscious of what the colour scheme is and how, your glass is either going to fade completely into the background or enhance your overall colour scheme. Now I have a few sort of choices here, so I'm going to have a go and have a look and see what they're like. That's a bit too blue, I think. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit too blue. And then we have this one here. This one's called Tea Green. It's a pro marker. Oh, that's looking good. It's quite a greyed out blue, and it's a very light colour too. Now I have grey here. I think it's a cool grey. It's not bad, but it's a little dark. Try and keep it light. Now, so you can see really any of these colours would work, but I'm going to go for this one here, which is the tea green, just because it's a blue-grey and it's a light colour. Okay, so first of all, I'm imagining that this is a window pane. Now I don't know, you probably can't see, but I've already measured out some lines just to give me a little bit of direction. I've put in some diagonal ones as well, just to give it a tiny bit of movement. Now I'm going to put in more diagonal lines in a different direction, and the importance here is to keep these diagonal lines parallel to each other. Always keep them parallel. If they're not parallel, it won't work. Okay. So I'm going to start off using the thick end of the marker, and I'm just going to go I'm going to leave some spaces as well. And then I'm going to do some crossovers too. So that's my first layer, if you like. And I'm going to turn this around, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line all the way along on the inside, almost where the glass meets its frame. This seems to make a huge difference for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but it does. That the line all the way around the inside of the pane of glass is slightly darker than the glass itself. Now we can enhance that again, but we're just sort of starting out here. Okay, now back to the thick end of the marker. I'm going to put in those diagonal lines. Okay, and I'm just going to very quickly some lines there. Now, that in itself would represent glass, but I'm just going to have a look at some of these colours and see how they might work. Yeah, I'm just going to enhance it a very tiny bit. I mean, this in itself would work just fine. And what I might do is take out some of the white lines as well. And again, like most of these rendering techniques, it's a question of building it up. Now I have this pencil. It is called Light Ultramarine. It's a very cool blue. I'm just going to see what that's like over that. I mean, that in itself is absolutely fine for rendering glass, and in fact it doesn't have to be that detailed either, and when it dries it'll dry much lighter. But I would just like to maybe go over around the edge, just to add that bit of subtlety in. not going to do the whole thing, I'm just going to do one side of it and you'll get the gist. Okay, now I'm just going to start. Now you see what I'm doing, the way I'm holding the pencil, I'm sort of using the flat end of the pencil. And very subtly applying that cool light ultramarine just over what I've done, just to enhance it a little bit. Now I'm just going to go over these very slightly again. So there you have your glass. Now I'm trying to get a good view for you. Okay, so this is with the pencil and this is without the pencil. Now remember, this dries slightly lighter, so really the key here is make sure when you put these diagonal lines in that they're all parallel to each other, and go subtle on you know, the amount of lines you have in and so on. You can enhance it with pencil if you want to, or you can leave it as is. Again, that's a stylistic choice.